Okay, so the recording has started. And the purpose of the recording is that once these workshops are over, we will be putting them onto our website, and it will enable you to reflect back on perhaps some of the information that maybe you may have missed, or some re-education on some of the points that you want more information on. So I'm now going to hand over to Rahib. Rahib has been part of Smartlight for a number of years. He will explain his background in a little bit more detail. Um, and he's my go-to guy. Whenever there's anything to do with online tools, Rahib, I need to do this, I need to do that. What's the best tool that's available? This is the go-to guy that we use as well. And Rahib has been absolutely instrumental in supporting us in the development of what we do to engage our service users. So without any further ado, I will now hand over to Rahib, and Rahib, over to you.
Thank you, Salim. Hi, guys. Hope everyone's doing well. I think we are missing a few, but I think we've got all the people. Anyways, I'm Rahib, and I'm the director of Architects and Accountancy. I've been working in accounts for almost 8 years now, and I've worked with different businesses from like retailers to small shop owners, you name it. I've worked with a lot of different businesses from different backgrounds, different sectors, and I've helped them in different ways. Because at the end of the day, I don't believe all the businesses, they share the same problems. At the end of the day, it's all different depending on what stage of journey you are. But today we're going to help you look at a few tools that can help you take your business to the next level. Because right now, I'm sure, as you're all aware, because of the pandemic, the lockdown situation, a lot of people have been, tied into their houses and homes. They've been trying to work from home, arranging meetings, trying to get all their, work done from home, and it's been challenging for people because I don't think everybody knows how to navigate themselves in the online world, especially nowadays when we all push back into the house that we need to work from home, and with the increasing risk in technology and all the security problems, I think everybody should be aware of all the basic things they need to take care of anyway. Today, we're going to discuss some of these tools that will help you guys, get your work done effectively. Give me 1 second. Can you hear me better? Okay?
Yeah, that's fine, Rahib.
Perfect. Please. Okay, so I was saying, today we're gonna discuss around 5 tools that are gonna help you guys to work online and get your work done faster and easier. They're gonna cover Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Outlook, OneDrive, and Google Drive. OneDrive and Google Drive are similar, and so are Zooms and Teams, but they're from different families. So today we're going to start with Zoom. So I'm going to start sharing my screen, and let me know as soon as you guys can see my screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can see that now, Rahib.
Perfect. Give me 1 second. Let me try to change my mic. That gets better.
No, you've completely gone now.
Better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the issues of working online is getting your equipment right.
Okay.
I'll start with just creating an account on Zoom. So as you can all see, we will need to go into Zoom. Just search Zoom on Google so that it doesn't take you anywhere else. You just go to the actual Zoom site, because a lot of people, they're creating fake pages for a lot of fake websites just to get into people's accounts. But I'll just keep it simple. We go into Zoom. And you can use the online Zoom web app, or you can download the desktop app, depending how you want to proceed. The desktop app will stay on your PC or your laptop, and you can take it anywhere. And the web app, you can access it anywhere online and juggle meetings without needing to download the app. So let's just say we'll click on here and sign up. It's free. All right, one scheme for basic date of birth, something random. Normally, I just use my Google account to sign up on a lot of accounts, so it's easier just so that you don't have to remember all the new passwords you keep acquiring. So just use this. And this will bring me into our admin panel. You can use this panel to tweak your meetings and settings as per your wishes. You can edit your profile from the left panel. As you can see, this is the navigation panel. It's got different tabs: profile, meetings, webinar, recording, and settings. You can change your display picture, basic details, and this here shows you your personal meeting ID. And every user will be given a personal meeting ID that is going to stay the same. So whenever you want to schedule a meeting or start a new meeting, either you can create a new room, or you can just send the user your personal meeting ID link, and this can be used to just join into your personal room. I will explain you what the personal room is. It's basically a standard room that stays the same. The link doesn't change. This way, you don't need to keep sending out new meeting links for any person who wants to join. And it's a bit easier so that you do less tracking, less meetings. And so I've got a basic account. This lets me have a meeting for up to 14 minutes, up to 100 participants. If you need a paid account, you can upgrade, and I'll show you the price plans and pricing as well. So just to get you an idea what happens with the other plans. Next, the meetings tab. Over here, you can schedule meetings, tweak them, tweak the settings, and look at the previous meetings you have attended. Like let's say upcoming meeting, you can put a recurring meeting for a weekly meeting, for a monthly meeting, and it will start automatically. The previous meeting, it will show you all the previous meetings you had. And this is the personal room we were discussing right now. About your personal meeting room, that will stay the same, unless you want it to change every time. You need to tweak it, but otherwise, this stays the same just to make it easier for you. And these are the templates. Recordings, clavicle. In recordings, you can access all the meeting recordings that you're going to have. Basically, right now, we're recording a meeting, which you're going to upload onto our own platform. But over here, you can have your recordings go directly onto the cloud server for Zoom if you have a prepaid account. Or you can just store them on your PC. Like I've got these 2 meetings saved on my own PC that I have. So this way you can. Sorry, let's just give me a second.
Sorry, we're just trying to make a few improvements to the sound quality from Rahid's end. So just bear with us for a couple of ticks whilst we get that sorted out.
Any better?
Yeah, let's try that, Rahid. See how we get on.
Perfect. Okay. Let's carry on. Recordings. Did everybody get recordings covered? Or does anybody have any questions? Just in case anybody missed out anything. Okay, if you have any question, you guys can just raise your hands or put anything in the chat. I'll just give it a little answer. So we can go into settings next. Okay, these are your basic settings for your Zoom account, which can be tweaked from the web app, and these will take effect directly in your desktop app. So these are all the basic options that you're going to see, like, you guys just logged into this meeting and you will have to wait in the waiting room. This is the option here. So basically, when you have to click on, everybody who comes into your meeting waits in the meeting room until the host lets them in. This way, you don't have any disturbances, somebody just jumping into a meeting and you start talking, and that way you can just let the people in when you're ready. And as you can see, some of these options have been grayed out. That's because they are only available in the paid version, like changing your meeting passcodes, other bits. And rest of the settings are just generic ones: security, scheduling meeting, how do you want to record, and everything else. These adding a watermark, personal ID, and personal starting meetings. Same way, as you keep scrolling down, we're going to see different meeting settings, like basic settings. This is encryption for third-party endpoints, just so that when your video and your audio is encrypted, nobody can access them and nobody can hack when you're having a meeting. Same way when you want to chat, private chats, auto-saving chats. If you say you want them to be saved for every meeting, you can just click on this option to save all the chats you need. Notification, very basic. Send meetings, feedback to Zoom, display continuity. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to jump onto Zoom and get you all to play around with Zoom a bit and participate with us so that we can see and we can take on to the next level with Zoom. Let me stop my screen share and we're going to jump back on to Zoom. Guys. Okay, can everybody still hear me okay?
Yeah, that's fine, Rahid.
Perfect. As I'm sure, as you can see, let me see if I can. Can you all see Zoom at the bottom of your screen? You're going to see a panel that says mute, stop video, participants, chat, share screen, record, reactions, and apps. Can you all see that panel at the bottom on Zoom? Is the sound any better?
So if you just carry on talking, we'll be able to get back to you one day, Rahib. I think some people are experiencing difficulties. So just carry on with the conversation.
Perfect. Okay, so now what we're going to look at is at the bottom of the Zoom tabs, just to get you familiar with what is at the bottom navigation panel. If you look onto the left-hand side, you're going to see an option for the mic and saying mute at the bottom. If you click on there, it will just mute your mic straight away. And then you're going to see an arrow key right next to it. And if you click on there, you're going to see a lot of different options depending on all your PC configurations. You're going to see select a microphone, select the speaker option, then test speakers and microphone, switch, leave computer audio and audio settings. You can change your speakers and microphones to here if you're having any difficulty with your speakers or your microphones. Like I was having right now, I just changed my microphone to here. Next to it, you see the video option that says stop video or start a video. And then arrow at the side. When you click on the arrow, it gives you settings, selecting camera, background, video folder, and video settings. You can tweak your video settings depending on your configuration, changing the basically the definition from a high definition to a low definition version, and changing the aspect ratio of your videos as well, plus a bit of color settings and tweaks. After that, I'm sure you all can see the participant buttons. If you click on here, it's going to bring a tab on your right-hand side showing you a list of participants that are active on our chat today. And if you can see, you will see icons next to them that show your microphone icon and a webcam icon. If your webcam is on, it will show as on, and if it's off, there's going to be a red cross on here saying the mic. If you go to the other users, some of them you can change your own name or profile picture, but you can't change other users. You can pin them on your screen that way. Let's say if you want to watch one of your users stay on the screen and not move onto like a next screen, just in case they go quiet on a Zoom meeting. Oh. Sarah, can you see the participant button at the bottom? If you bring your mouse at the bottom of the screen on Zoom, you'll see a tab come up and it's going to have new video participants chat at the bottom.
Yeah.
Rahim, there seem to be a couple, Sarah and David, who say they can't see the screen at the moment. So can we try and see if we can resolve this one first?
Yes.
Sarah, can you see anything on your screen at all?
No, I can't. I can just see the gallery view of people's names. Something popped up briefly and then disappeared again.
Okay.
Let me try to show.
I can certainly see the screen share on my side. David, what's happening on yours, David?
I think I've got the same view as, by the sounds of it, Sarah. I can just see the gallery in Zoom, so I can see people's names.
Okay.
So I'm not sure what I'm supposed to be seeing.
Can you see the screen again now?
I can see a desktop, the background of a galaxy.
Yes. Well, let me show you what I was talking about on the panel at the bottom of the screen. Can you see this panel at the bottom slide up?
We don't know what you're pointing at. Oh, hang on. Yeah, I can see a cursor moving around.
Okay, you can't see that panel at the bottom though, right?
No, I can just see the background on your desktop, which is a galaxy or something.
Okay, just give me 1 second.
Whilst Rahib's trying to sort that out, I do apologise for this. And this shows sometimes the difficulties and challenges we have working in the digital world, especially when we're trying to develop other people's skills as well. So technology can sometimes be a pain, sometimes it's difficult, and other times it's actually quite a fantastic tool to have. So we'll just try and sort things out. Just generally want to ask, whilst Rahib's doing that, are people generally familiar with Zoom? What are you using within your organizations? Do you use Zoom? Have you got experience of Zoom? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Should we just have a quick, a few questions, chat about that whilst Rahib's trying to sort his end out? Who's brave enough to come in?
First, we use Zoom and Teams. And I prefer Zoom, actually, but maybe simply because I learned how to use Zoom first. I think it's a bit more intuitive.
Okay. And Sarah, because I know your organisation very well as well. So your staff, are they also familiar with using facilities? Because one of the sorts of challenges we face is cascading the level of skills down to all levels of staff. How are you perhaps maybe doing that, if you don't mind me asking?
No, I'm not sure that I really know the answer, Salim. I suspect that
Okay.
a lot of people can do the basics, but not much beyond that. And that's my situation, which is why I've come along to see if I can be a little bit more sophisticated with it. It's
Sure.
reassuring though, Rahib, that you know, the experts struggle sometimes to share the right.
Absolutely, and this is why I do apologise about what we will be doing if we can't get this session going for some reason or other. We'll obviously put it on again and be a bit more go through all the technical bits beforehand next time.
Hey guys.
Rahib, are you back with us?
Yes, basically Zoom is not going to share its own screen, so I have to do a workaround for you guys. So can you see this panel now?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Let's carry on from there. And there was just some issues about the voice as well, and so I think maybe too much head movement or something could even impact it as well.
Okay, maybe
just learning points for all of us as well.
Let me try to switch my video off. That might do a bit of better sound quality. Is that any better?
No.
Okay, can you guys see this panel now where my mouse is? This cursor.
Yeah.
Mute, stop video. Okay, if you guys look on your Zoom windows and if you move your mouse at the bottom, this panel will slide up if you're sharing screen, and otherwise it will just be at the bottom for you guys to see. And I'll just walk you through what all these settings means. And can you see the microphone icon? And next to it, there's going to be a small arrow. Can you guys see that?
Yes, I certainly can, yes.
What about Sarah and David? Can you both see?
Yes.
And Amir? Perfect. Okay, this option will let you basically mute your microphone, edit it, or change it if you have other, like 2 or 3 microphones or your speakers. I think let's say if you've got a wireless headset connected or just normal headphones connected and you want to switch between your speakers and sounds, so you can use this option. And also, let's say if one of your speakers or the microphone is not working, then you would need to go into these audio settings just to see if they're actually connected or if they're receiving any signals or outputting any signals. So if you click on audio settings, and you will be able to see the speaker section going up and down. That shows that there's a sound coming with speaker, and same goes for the microphone. If your microphone setting is moving, then you put level, that means your microphone is active and it's picking up any noise. And if it's just quiet, that means either no one's talking or your microphone is not working. Has everybody got that? Hello?
Yeah, I think they're on mute, that's why, right? But yeah.
Oh, okay. So next we're going to just move on to quickly onto the webcam section. If you see there's a camera icon next to it with a small pointer, and it shows basically if you just want to turn off your video or turn on your video, you can do that. Plus, if you guys want to hide your backgrounds, it gives you a nice option to have a virtual background. You can have anything from the selection Zoom provides you, or you can upload your own pictures, up to you. The next to it is the participant tab. On the participant tab, if you click on it, it will show you all the participants that are active onto this meeting. And you can see if their microphones are on, if their webcams are on or active. That way, if they're active, it will just show you moving and a movement. If they're sharing screen, there's going to have a small green icon next to it. But let's say if their microphone and webcams are off, they're going to be highlighted in red with a cross next to it. That way you can see like, okay, whose microphone is off. And let's say if you're trying to talk and you notice nobody can hear you, you can have a quick look at it just to see if your microphone is on and off. Because sometimes people start talking and their microphones are off and just kind of makes them crazy. After the participants section, there's a chat section, if you can see. And if you click on it, I think a lot of people know this section as they've been typing onto it again. But the chat section, you can type with everybody that's here on the meeting. You can talk to them directly. Or let's say if you want to send messages to just one person out, you can go on to next to the tube. And as you can see, you can either message everyone, or if you click on the arrow next to it, it will let you just send direct messages to one person. That way you don't have to disturb everyone and you can have a private conversation with one person. So then back to the new share or sharing icon. This will help you share your whatever you're doing, whatever is on your screen or whatever application you're running. This will help you share it with your participants. For that, you would just need to click on it and it will give you an option of whatever you have open on your PC and whatever you want to share. Plus, it gives you option to share a whiteboard. Let's say if you're having a class or you something interactive and you're going to write something or just show people something written on a screen, then you can use the whiteboard option as well. It's quite interactive to have like classes with kids and as well. But other than that, you can share any screen that you have and people will walk through with you. Then after that, you have a very simple option for sharing. This way, whatever you're sharing, you can stop it and pause it and start recording as well. If you're the host of the meeting, you're going to have another option on this screen that's going to ask you to help record or stop recording. So like right now, Salim is recording at the moment. He's going to get an option that he can pause recording or stop the recording completely. But that is the option for the host only, as the host is only allowed to record the meetings and he can have them saved onto his own PC or account. Next is a very easy option. Annotate, let's say, whatever you're doing, you can use this option to, let's say, put anything on the screen. Or let's say you want to draw something. A line, a squiggly line, whatever you want to draw, however you want to interact with people, you can use Annotate to just open up your screen. And let's say if I want you guys pointed out here, I can just do this and the circle feature. There's a mute button here, but it's not, I'm not very good at making circles with it, but as you can see with these options, it can make it quite interactive. Plus, with all of the different options that you would see in any other app, like a pen tab or PowerPoint app, all the tools, select tools, text tool, draw tools, stamping, spotlighting, eraser, changing the color, the width of the font, making it bold, italic, changing the size, undo, redo, and clear everything. So my drawings, start fresh. And you can save it as well if you've made something nice and you want to keep it for yourself or just for reference for the future, you can save it as well. And so control and some of you might be getting a reactions setting as well. With reactions bit, you can send reactions like raise hands, happy, basically you can send emojis however you're feeling, just to tell people what's on your mind without even talking or saying anything. That way, you don't have to talk, you don't have to interact, and you can just emojis like, oh, the kids doing emojis without even saying a word. Anybody has any questions?
Rahib, I just wanted to also ask, there are sometimes differences between a paid version and free version, because I know many people we connect with on Zoom sometimes just have a free version.
Yes.
So these particular features that you mentioned, like screen sharing and recording in particular, are they always available on a free version as well?
Yes, let me just walk you through with what happens on different times. Let me just share. Can you see the Zoom packages?
Yeah.
Perfect. As you can see, with a free version, you can host up to a meeting with up to 100 participants, unlimited group meetings up to 40 minutes. So basically, when you hit your 40 mark, it will end the meeting and then you would have to start a new meeting. That's a bit annoying, but that's free. And you can record your meetings as well. You can't do polling on this as it's a free plan. They have to keep some of the high-end aspects onto the paid versions. But other than that, the free version is really good for a lot of small business and people because they don't need that many participants in their meetings, or they don't use Zoom that much even. But even then, when they use the basic version, covers most of it. And after that, we got the Pro version, which is $11.99 a month, and you do get savings if you pay annually, but depends what are your needs. Like in the Pro version, you can host up to 100 participants, same as the free version, but it will go on to increase another zero. So basically, 1,000 is the largest add-on you can get. That's, I think, more than enough for anybody's needs. As for group meetings, like in the free version, it was capped at 40 minutes, but on the Pro version, you can have them up to 30 hours, which I doubt anybody's going to have a meeting over a day long, but that's the option they go up to. And then you can also stream directly onto social media like Facebook, Reddit, and those kind of versions. And you have 1 GB cloud space to save your recording onto Zoom, just in case, let's say you're traveling and you don't have any space on your laptop or your PC, you can upload it onto Zoom and it will keep it safe, but it's up to 1 GB. So you would have to be careful depending how much data you want to upload onto Zoom and how much capacity you've got limited. Then going forward, the business and enterprise versions are pretty much same as well. Like, the basic version that you get in free and pro, plus some other extra bits and stuff. So if we go monthly, the business versions are $15.99 per month as well. But the enterprise one is $15.99, but it will be tailored to the enterprise. So basically, we have to, and let's say an enterprise, which let's say around 200 or more than 250 or 500 employees would need to get a tailor-made basically Zoom for them, which will just work for their organizations, working with their email address and stuff. So that is just for big businesses that want to integrate Zoom into their own in-house softwares.
Great. And these the costs that are shown on there, are they like do you take out a contract, or can you pay monthly and cancel monthly? Do you know?
You can start, and you can start for monthly, because on the monthly licenses, any software, most of the software, all the monthly licenses, you can cancel them. You just pay for the month, and let's say if you're not happy, you can cancel afterwards. But on an annual bill, let's say if you buy something and you just pay annually, then that can be a bit hassle. Let's say you would have to chase up the company and ask for a refund, and then it depends on the refund policy as well. But other than that, monthly licenses are much easier, as you're not tied into a contract, or like you have paid for the whole year up front. And let's say something's changed and you want to take a step back and you want to exit, but you would need to read the contract to sign up in that sense. But other than that, let's say if you use Zoom quite a lot and you think it will be helpful, it is a really great software tool, to be honest, right now, especially with everybody working from home, having unlimited meetings and everything. It does help in that sense.
There's a message that's come through asking if you could just quickly touch on when you've got a large audience, and it could be like 10 plus or whatever, and you want to split them up during the session into different groups, so different people are working on different things, and then they all get back together. How do you do that on Zoom?
That's a thing that will be done on Teams. On Zoom, you would need to do it separately. Let's say if I'm having a meeting, then that meeting will only include those people that are involved in that project. Okay. Then I have a separate meeting for those people who are on a different project. Let's say if all people are working on the same project, then it would be easier to have one meeting, and that people can collaborate on there, share their workings, and see what they're doing. But that will work better on Teams, as Teams incorporates Microsoft Office as well. Plus, we're going to do a Google Drive tutorial like now to walk you through and show you guys how Google Drive works as well. And plus, with Google Drive, you get Google Word and Google Sheets and other bits. That way, that will actually help you in that sense, because Zoom will let you collaborate in that sense. Let's say it can help somebody take control of your PC, but they'll be editing files on your PC. It's not real collaboration in real time.
Okay, thank you, Rahim.
Thank you, guys. Have you got any more questions? Not, should we jump onto Google Drive?
I think that's a good idea. Let's move on to Google Drive. I have to say, this is something I'm using more and more of every day now.
Google
Drive, as I've seen the benefits of that. So hopefully we can share some of those benefits today with people.
Yes. Let me share screen. Can you see my Google Drive, guys? Can you see the screen?
Yes, it's visible.
Perfect. Okay, let me just show you how to. Let's say we just go onto Google. And if you click on here, you can see the drive option here as well. Plus, you can just search Google Drive and it will take you here as well. So let's just use this shortcut and click on Drive. If you already have a Google account, you will have a Google Drive account as well. So that will take you directly onto the Drive platform. But let's say if you don't have a Gmail account, then you just need to register for a Gmail account. And then with the Gmail account, you will get a Google Drive account as well. So as you can see, whatever you upload, the files and whatever, they're going to be saved here. And you can change how it looks. Let's see. You can concise it or make it in an icon format, depending how you prefer to have a look. On the side, you can have the informational panel. Let's say you pick up file or folder, and then it will show you what it's been done, when it was opened, created, basic things, activity, when did you create an item or whatnot, in that sense. So you can get that. Now let me show you how to upload something. When you click on new on the left-hand side panel, it shows you an option, create a new folder, file upload, upload a file, or upload a whole folder. At the bottom, you can see it says Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google Slides, and Google Forms. It's got more over here, but we're going to focus on Google Docs Sheets for now. You can see, let's say, if you want to create a new Google Doc, you can just create a blank document, or you can use a template. If you let's say use a blank document, it will just create a blank, completely blank document that you can start writing on. Let's see. And it saves everything in real time to your Google Drive. As you can see over here, it just saved what I wrote down. So let's write 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see it will keep saving whatever changes I make. Plus, over here, you can change the name of the document. It says Hello World now because it uses the first line we put in normally. Then on the top, you can see the tabs, the file, edit, view, insert, format, tools, add-ons, and help. These are basically similar to Microsoft Word as well, and other applications that you'll be using. That gives you a nice and tidy view to see how your options have been divided. As you can see under the file options, it gives you option to share, create a new document, open a new document, make a copy. You can email this file straight away, download it to your PC in different formats. You can even download it in a Microsoft Word document or an open document format, whatever you're using, RTF, PDF document as well, and a plain text document, web page, or EPUB publications as well. Right now, there's no version history because I've just created this document, but let's say if you've been working on a document for long, then it will show you different versions that were edited at different times, just in case you need to go back and undo a change that you are not happy with. That comes in very handy, let's say when you're working on a big document and it's taking long to get it done with. Below that are very basic options, renaming the file, moving the file. You can add a shortcut onto a drive for the file, trash it, language, page setup, print preview, printing, publish to the web. Very basic, nothing crazy. Even editing is very simple. Undo whatever last action you did, it will undo that action and redo. Let's say you did something and you deleted it and you want to do it again, then you can just redo Control-Y and it will do that option. Let me show you. I want to delete this, but I accidentally deleted it, so I'll just do redo. Oh, sorry, undo. And let's say I want to delete it again. I'm like, okay, I want to delete it. I can do Control Y and it will delete it. But let's say that was a mistake, so I have to undo it. So I can undo that from here straight away. These are the very basic from this cut, copy, paste. And paste without formatting means it will paste whatever you copied in the same format that you copied in, instead of pasting it into the fonts we've been using, the size we've been using, and onto the recent documents. And we can insert image, view is you can use this mode. Let's say right now I'm editing the document, I'm writing it. So I use this mode to write whatever and do whatever. But let's say I share this document, which I'm going to show you right now, with someone, but I don't want them to edit. So then I can use suggesting for them. So that way they can look at the document, put down their suggestions, and they'll come directly to me. And viewing is basically just viewing. They can't even suggest or do anything else. They'll be just allowed to view the document and not do anything else. Let me show you. Let's say I'll just so here you can see this document I've created. I've just put Salim's email address. So if I want Salim to be able to edit the document, I'll just use editor. And if I just want him to comment on the document, I just need his review and feedback about the document that I use a commenter. And if I just need him to just view it quickly and have a glance at it, then I'll just use view. I'll cancel this thing now because it's not a very good document. Secondly, you can use a link. A link is an much more easier way of sharing a document, but it can be, let's say, passed on without your information. So basically, when you come here and get a link, you come from the same option from share. And as you can see, this is the link to the document that I've just created. I'll copy it now. And I will send it to you on Zoom so that you guys can see how you can open up documents just to get an idea. People with this link, all of them, they can open it and view the restaurant. But the only thing is I won't be able to control who gets passed on to this link until basically either I'm sharing with the email address, then I've got full control, but on a link, it can get a bit hectic. You can disable the link as well if you want to, but it's easier that way. So now let's see, insert. On insert, you can insert images. And if you, let's say, want to create a table, depending how many boxes and columns and rows you want, you can have a 1x2, 2x3, 3x3, 4x3, 5x3. It will keep increasing to whatever image you want. How many boxes do you want? Depending, let's say we do 8x3. That's your box for 8x3. You can have your headings on the top and put your data in here, or tweak it however you want to watch it, or you can just say if you don't need it, you can just select it and delete it. And it keeps updating in real time, as you can see on top. Then the table, drawing charts. Let's just use basic charts for now. Bars and columns and line and pie. This will need data that you will need to feed into sheets, because at the end of the day, if you are going to make a bar chart or a column chart, it won't work unless, like you can see over here, period 1 and period 2. We would need to have the data in place so that it can read the data and then visualize it for you. But if you don't have any data connecting it to the sheets, then you would need to basically work with it as an image file. Has anybody got any questions?
Rive, not so much a question, but just wanted to share perhaps with the audience some of the benefits we found on using Google Drive and Google Sheets and Google Docs. So we have a number of projects where we need to have different people working on the same document. And we've found that extremely helpful because these people aren't actually in the same room. They're not even in the same company. So we have projects that we're delivering where, for example, we've got one currently being delivered in London and Cardiff with other teams. We're part of a large project. And so what we do is collaborating with the same document with many different people who are sitting in different parts of the country. And we found that to be extremely helpful. And these are the sorts of collaboration tools that you can use within your own organization, even if you have to share with someone in the other part of the city, across Birmingham, in another office you may have, or they could be sitting in the same building and in another room. And you can actually start collaborating live. And that's what we've found to be extremely beneficial, because when you use a traditional Microsoft Word, it's a case of you make a change, you've then got to save it, you've then got to email it to somebody, that person's then got to open it up, and then they've got to do their comments and then feed back to you. And that all takes time, whereas this can all be done instantaneously. And we found that really beneficial. I don't know if anyone else also used it or they want to share some of their experience on it.
I'm a little bit ignorant of it all. When I have used Google Drive, the problem that I've run into is that I forget that it's a shared editing rights, and I'll open a document to then try and change it into a different document, do something different, and forget that I'm editing the original document. If that makes sense. How do we, if you want to do a new document that's based on another document, how do you resave it to start again? Does that make sense?
Okay, that makes sense. I understand. Like sometimes you might need to tweak a document again and again, but have a preview version as well just to go back and check. So I can understand. Can you still see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. If you look at here, let's see. Can you see make a copy?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Copy of Hello World. I don't even need to share it. Can you see over here? Copy comments and suggestions. I don't do anything. Because if you do it, let's say share it with the same people, if you are sharing this document already, then the new document will be shared with them as well. But I think as for your question, I don't think you need to share with other people. The copy. So let's say I've made a copy and this is the exact same document.
Yeah.
Can you see it's Hello World, but this over here it says copy of Hello World. So you can just change it to Hello World too.
Great. That's so simple. Thank you.
No worries.
And also, in addition to that, Sarah, that if at a later stage you wanted them to share it, you could just change the sharing rights again to the copy document.
Okay.
Let's right now I'm sharing with anyone, but let's say if I'm sharing, they will come up here. Who should I share? I think I would have to share with Celine. So right here, like I've given Celine the access to edit the document, so you can edit it whenever you want to. Now, once I've shared it, you see the lock has gone from here. And when I click on sharing, it shows me Celine, I've shared it with Celine.
Mm-hmm.
And now, let's say if I want to remove this document from my drive and move it to Salim's drive, let's say I was doing something with Salim and I'm done with it, so I can transfer ownership. Basically, that will change me as the host, as the admin of the document, and make Salim the owner. Then Salim can control who can access it, who can view it, and who can edit the document instead of me. I've handed it over to Salim. And the second option is remove. Let's say I've done whatever you needed to do and I need to stop its access. I can just remove it from here and save it. That's it. Then back to me again. And you can see it's locked up here again, private only. So it stops you from sharing with anyone. Let's say if you're sharing.
Right. I think the question raised is a really important one, which gets asked quite often, I'm sure. Could you also just explain the difference when you're sharing a folder as opposed to just sharing a document, or if you just share, and the document may be in the shared folder. Just talk around a little bit about that.
Sharing a folder. Okay, let's say we create a new folder for that type of folder. With sharing a folder, the difference is you would need to be careful, like you were talking right now about, you share with somebody and then you forget you've shared something with somebody. Let's say if you're sharing a document, it's just one document, so you don't have access to more items, but to only that document. But in the case of a folder, when you share a folder, anything that you put inside that folder will be shared. So let's say if I share this folder against Celine, now, once I start putting anything, let's say I upload a file. Can you see this section on the side? Like this file, I have not shared with Salim. I have only shared the folder with Salim. But any file that I'm going to put in this folder, Salim can see it. So sharing a folder is good. Let's say if you have like an internal team, they're all working on the same things, they're accessing files. A lot of people, work on the same files and they might need different documents at different times. So you can create a shared folder in your workspace that can be shared with all your employees and they can have access to it. But you need to be careful. If you give access to it, you shouldn't be putting something that you don't want them to have access to, because you won't be able to tweak it in that sense. And if you need that tweaking, you shouldn't be sharing folders and only documents in that sense. Because let's say if you forget and you upload anything and they have access to it, they will be able to edit it, copy it, and take it out without even taking it out. So that is something you should be careful before you give access to somebody with your folders. Files is, let's say, it doesn't give you that much of an access. Wherein, as in folder, like Sandra says, she can forget sometimes. So let's say if you have shared a folder and you forget who you have shared with and you keep uploading stuff, they will have access to files whether you want them to have it or not. Oh, that makes sense.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Ray.
Yeah.
What we'll do, looking at the time, is could we quickly move on to Microsoft Teams? Because this is a slight issue, Microsoft Teams, in the respect that as a particular form of communication, most companies probably don't use Microsoft Teams. But if you're dealing, for example, with the City Council, by default, they always use Microsoft Teams.
Yeah.
So when you get into the dilemma of using Teams when you're not familiar with Teams, when you may be using Zoom instead. So we're going to quickly go through Microsoft Teams now with Rahib.
Give me 1 second. Okay, as for Teams can be used as a web app and as a desktop app. Let me just open up a desktop app.
And whilst Rahib's sorting that out, we're conscious that you can't cover absolutely everything on these workshops. They are just tasters. But what we will do, depending on feedback, is look at maybe putting a few more workshops on, more specifically looking at some of the day-to-day challenges of, for example, using Google Drive, if that's going to be of benefit as well. So we'll also be looking at doing that. Rahib?
Yes. You guys, can you see my screen? Okay. Teams, let me just give you a little background. Teams is Microsoft's, let's say I would call it alternative to Zoom. It's just a meeting software, just similar to Zoom, but it works well with Windows because it works in the Windows atmosphere and it connects with your Microsoft Office applications, Outlook, OneDrive. So it works well even if you're using a Windows-based PC. But if you're not bothered that much about Windows apps, you can use other ones as well. But let's talk about Teams here for now. As you can see, you would need an Outlook ID or like a work or school ID to log into Teams. I'm right now logged into my Outlook ID, so it's over here. And these are the settings, and this is very simple and basic. You've got just 3 panels on your left: activity, chat, and calendar. Calendar basically connects with your Outlook as well, and it will import your meeting and schedules, anything, and will export it as well once you've connected with your Outlook. That's
Rahim, I'm sorry to interrupt. I can only see a blank screen with the white line going through, and I think David the same.
You can't see.
It's not sharing the screen fully.
Might go on. Okay, let me show you. Can you see Teams?
Yes, that's better now.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, can you see, the left panel, activity, chat, and calendar? This is very basic. Activity, let's say if you have your own meetings and you've got your team members all working on Teams, it will keep breaking your, let's say anybody says anything to you, mentions you, you send somebody a message and they respond to you. Any updates, whatever there are, you'll keep getting them here. Just like, you have a Facebook feed, any notification, somebody messages you, likes your status or whatever, you get a notification. This feed will bring anything and any updates that you've been working on with your people, whatever, into this section. Then the second bit is chat. Okay. Chat, again, I don't think I need to explain it, but chatting is, again, same thing. You're talking with your team members over, let's say, a project, about a file, what you want to do about a file. Let's create a new chat. Let's say if I am working with Brandon, I need to send him a message, but I want to work on a file with him as well. Okay. Say I send him a message and I want to send him a file as well. Let's do one second. Right. There you go. Can you see the upload? Perfect. So basically, let's say I've uploaded this file to him. He can download it, edit it, and let's say when he replies to me, this will be highlighted with whatever he replies. Plus, it will turn up on the activity feed as well, just in case I don't miss it. And this way, it will keep my work, let's say my chat with Brand, completely professional, whatever I'm dealing with, he can react to this, give me his feedback, and then we can collaborate on this file. But I think Google Drive is much, much more easy to collaborate with Teams. So as you're on the top, you can see the file section. Whatever you share will keep coming here. Let's say you quickly want to see what you have shared, what you've not shared, whatever the files are here on the chat, you can quickly have a look at them here. And let's say if you go back to the chat section, we'll bring up the chat. Then let's say you have a member who's not on Teams, you can send an invitation to them by like we had a shared link on Google Drive as well. Over here, we have a sharing link for Microsoft Teams. You just copy it. You can email it to them or you can text it to them. That way they can just register on Teams, create their own account, and once they're logged in, they will turn up on your numbers as well. And afterwards, we've got third option, very simple, calendar. just a regular diary. You can put in your meeting dates or appointments you get. So it works very simple and it connects with your Outlook as well. So this way, all your Microsoft Meets are going to be in one place, and then you can just easily navigate and organize your meetings over here. Let's say you want to change a week, different week, have a look at them, and you never, let's say, create a new meeting, schedule a meeting, or let's say a web chat, then you can start a meeting, or you can get a link. So if you start a meeting, it will basically start a, I can't, actually you can, let me show you, you can, yeah, like I said, when you say to start a meeting, then it will give you the option to turn your camera on or microphone off from here. Join now or cancel. Like right now, I don't have anyone in the meeting, so I'm not going to join in, but let's schedule something. I send them a link and then we can have a meeting pretty much in the same way like we have on Zoom. Any more questions?
Thank you, Rahib. I think what we'll do is, I think we were quite ambitious in the respect that we're trying to cover three major platforms here within the space of an hour. What we will do is I have posted a link in the chat, which is a very quick 1 minute survey, but also within there, there'll be an opportunity to just tell us what other things perhaps you want a little bit more support on. I think what we'll do is we'll look at maybe putting on a couple more workshops that will concentrate more specifically on just one of these platforms, so we can give you a more detailed overview and a more detailed interaction of some of the challenges or the benefits of these platforms. We have got 2 sessions coming up, which are on Microsoft Word and Microsoft Excel. They're still preferred platforms to use, and what we're going to do on the Microsoft Word, both of them, is go through the more advanced actions that you can do. So we're going to look at, rather than just using the basics, how we can go more deeper into using the actions of Microsoft Word, creating formulas and making spreadsheets much more interactive and better for you and your business as well. We'll also go through looking at how we can create shortcuts to make your work more efficient as well when you're using these platforms. So these are going to be coming through onto the upcoming courses. If you do get time, please try and just complete that survey. Be honest. We know there were some challenges today in terms of the quality of the sound, but these things sometimes happen as well, and we're trying to improve that. The ones who've been on previous ones will know that we've had very excellent, good quality as well in terms of the voice. I do apologise about that if that did somehow impact on your experience today. If you get time, please complete that survey so we can get your feedback. And what we'll do is, I think we should put on a couple more additional workshops, more specifically maybe around Google, more specifically around Zoom and using the features on there, going a little bit more deep diving into there. Are there any questions that anybody would like, or anything that's been burning throughout that they haven't had an opportunity to ask either myself or Rahib? And we'll try and answer those whilst you're here before we wrap up. Any quick questions from anybody?
Hi, Salim. I just wondered whether the recording of the previous workshop that was called, I think it was called Digital Learning More Than a Point and Click Adventure. Is that recording available yet, or will it be sort of in December or the new year?
Yeah, very good question, David. And this has been asked by a number of people. So what we're doing, we are delivering this on behalf of All Green NNS. Doesn't matter if you fall out of the area. And what we will be doing is, when all these workshops are finished, these recordings are being edited on a workshop by workshop basis. and we'll have a project page made available. It'll certainly be on our website, and it'll be on the NNS website as well. There you will be able to access more details about the workshops. You'll be able to download all the slides for the workshops, where slides are made available. And there you'll also be able to access all the recordings as well. So even if you've not been able to attend previous sessions, you'll be able to access them. We'll have them available more towards Christmas time, though, David. If there's something in particular that your organisation or any participant wants in advance, we can perhaps send you the raw footage and see if that may help, or we can have individual discussions with you as well on any particular item.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other quick questions from anybody?
No, thank you.
Thank you. In that case, what we'll do is, conscious of time, we have run over slightly, but like I said, I think we've been ambitious by cramming in 3 very, very important platforms. I hope some of this was beneficial to you. Please do keep in touch, and also look out for the next workshops and that are coming up. And if you've got any suggestions for further improvements on content or future workshops, by all means, do drop us a line, and we'd be honored to happy to talk to you either individually or put on another workshop as a group as well. Thank you very much. Hope you all have a lovely day, and catch up with you all very, very shortly. Thank you.
Thanks, Salim. Thanks, Rahib.
Thank you, guys. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Bye-bye all.
Bye-bye.